I know one thing about Michael. He don't forgive and forget. I know that for sure. But
Experience.
the Bulls, I really think it's going to be fascinating. I really do.
Chuck, how you
Happy New
feeling?
Year!
Hey, brothers, I don't even know why y'all bother me. There's nothing happening in the world of sports right now.
Nothing.
Hey, has this been first of all, you guys were already the center of the universe. Y'all were already the center of the universe. Because let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. I don't think in the history of pro football, no team has ever been in a better situation than the Chicago Bears right now.
Really?
I mean, listen, man. After what y'all did last year with those picks, to have the number one pick again, and y'all can either take a quarterback or flip it for another. You know, some team will give y'all the exact same deal.
What are you doing?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I mean, obviously, those guys, you guys know. I mean, you get to see Chicago play a lot. Everybody in that building know what kind of kid he is. But, man, I'll say this. I'm not even joking. This is one of the hardest decisions I've ever seen. You know, remember when they had the debate between Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf?
Yeah.
That was a big decision because it got people Super Bowls and other people fired. You guys, I'm telling you, man, I don't think I've ever seen a team. Hard decision now.
Yeah, it's
awesome for you guys.
Yeah, like I keep hearing people, Charles. If you were a general manager, I hear people say, "Wow, I'd hate to be Ryan Poles. I'd love to be Ryan Poles, Bears general manager, because they've got options, and most of the options are good options."
But hey, you got options. But if you make the wrong decision, your ass gonna get fired.
But that's the case regardless. If you make bad decisions, whether you've got options or not options, you make bad decisions, you're gonna get fired.
But like these is one of those decisions. You're gonna either be the GM, win Super Bowls, or have a good team for the next 10, 15 years, or you gonna get fired. Like,
yeah,
you know, I mean, that's how big this decision is.
What do they say, though, Charles? Too much is given, much is expected. I would want that pressure if I was the GM. And if it doesn't work out, all right, I'll be able to live with it. Maybe I'll live in the, in a mountain somewhere so no one can get after me. But
but that's the nature of the job.
Yeah.
You get paid to make these decisions. And like I say, man, this is a great situation for the Bears.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, but man, this is one of those, like, if I make a good decision, I'm going to have my job for the next 10, 15 years, and we probably going to win a Super Bowl. But if I don't do this right, in 3 years, I'm going to get fired. That's the truth of the matter.
Speaking of decisions, are you a Harbaugh guy?
I like him. I like Jim. Well, first of all, they can let all that other stuff go. He's coming to the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deal with these damn idiots and boneheads at the NCAA. I mean, come on, man. Deion Sanders had a great tweet yesterday that's 100% correct. He says, "We just ran the greatest coach in college football history out of the game. We need to take a good look at what the hell we're doing." And he's 100% correct. Like, we're such a screwed up country. We're ruining college sports. That's how awful of people we are. We had probably the most beautiful thing going, which is college athletics, and we have totally ruined it. That's how bad of a society we are. Can you believe that?
How would you change it?
Well, we can't. Number one, I always want my players to be safe. Let me get that out the way. But we can't be paying guys millions of dollars to go to college. And we can't let kids be free agents every year and transfer 2 and 3 times for more money. I don't think that's what college sports were meant to be. That's just my personal opinion. Like I say, hey, I want my players to be taken care of. I think, obviously I'm a player first. But giving guys millions of dollars but also, talking to these coaches, like, number one, I got to pay a young high school kid millions of dollars, but also I've got to renegotiate my deals with my existing players every year. Because I talk to all these coaches, they're like, now, I'm out here recruiting, and these kids tell me I want this much money to come to this college. But then I get back, and the kid says, well, this other school called, can you match? Or I was like, that's not the way college sports should be.
There's no guardrails.
Yeah. Listen, there's no guardrails. And obviously, you read some of the stories. That's one of the reasons Saban said, he says, kids cared about what can I get in the NIL. I mean, so I could see if you've accomplished as much as him, I don't want to go out and have to do that at my age. So we ran the greatest coach ever out the game, and Deion's right. We need to take a step back and say, yo, man, we're ruining the college sports, and this ain't what it's supposed to be.
So there should be, I think what you're saying, Charles, is there should be common ground. Like, we're not going to ignore giving these kids something, but there need to be some rules so that the wild, wild west isn't the experience that we're all witnessing.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't poach other people players every year. That, like, your scholarship means something. Like, oh, I choose to go to this school. And once you make a deal, I'll tell you something about me and Michael. When me and Michael were really close, we would get together and play golf. And he says, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I said, sure, what's going on? He says, we're never going to bitch and complain about our contract. And because like when I left Philadelphia and got traded to Phoenix, Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson made more money than me. And, when Scottie and Tony Kukoc were making more money than Michael, of course he was pissed. But you can't show me any tape where he complained about it publicly. And when you sign a deal with these colleges, say, okay, I have an NIL deal, you shouldn't get to renegotiate it every year because some other school comes in and says, I'll pay you more to come to this school. That's not the way this thing should work. That's one thing I always admired about Michael. We had this conversation. He says, yeah, I know Scottie and Tony are making more than me, but my dad told me, hey, you signed the deal. The deal is the deal.
Charles Barkley joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. I want to get back to some of this coaching stuff, but you brought up Michael, and I heard you on Dan Patrick talk about like 3 weeks ago that you were maybe going to find time to fly in for tomorrow because of all the drama for the Bulls Ring of Honor tomorrow to see if Michael would show and if Scottie would show and how that would work. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I would love to be a fly on the wall tomorrow night because I have zero idea what's going to happen. I have zero idea who's going to show up. It would be entertaining to be there. I got 3 straight days of Capital One commercials with Sam and Spike to get ready for March Madness, so I can't be there. Unfortunately, I can't be there. So I got 3 straight 10-hour days. Actually, I got 4 straight days of 10-hour days where we shooting Capital One for March Madness. So I really can't be there. But I tell you what, I'm going to be making some calls at the end of the day because I want to know. First of all, you guys better call and let me know what's going on.
Oh, I will. Wait, what is your prediction? Who do you think shows? Who do you think won't show?
Let's gamble on it. Let's bet.
Michael's probably got a show. I mean, he's Michael Jordan. He's got to show anything affiliated with the Bulls. I don't know if Scottie's going to show up. I really don't know if Scottie's going to show up. Because Scottie has been really mean-spirited, talking about Michael couldn't play, he was overrated and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff was really, really unnecessary. And I know one thing about Michael. He don't forgive and forget. I know that for sure. But
experience.
The Bulls, I really think it's going to be fascinating. I really do. I mean, because I think even if they're cordial, it's going to be like fake.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff Scottie said about Michael was really uncalled for and unnecessary. So, man, I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to hear how it is. I really can't wait to see how it is.
Charles, can you think of another situation, whether it's, a different sport, but just in all the sports where there was so much accomplishment and so much success that is soured to this point? Maybe there is. Maybe there's another example of this, and I'm just not thinking of it. But this has got to be at the top of the mountain, isn't it?
Other than Prince Harry and Prince William, I can't think of anybody being this angry and saying it. And like I say, it's just a really. And Scottie was a good player. Scottie was a very good player, but his animosity toward Michael, like, there's three guys that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. They're the three most important people in NBA history. Magic and Bird, they saved the NBA. And Michael took it to another level. If we're talking about golf, you got Arnold, Jack, and Gary Player, and you got Tiger Woods. Now, there have been a lot of other great players, but let's be honest, there's only a few guys who moved a needle and Michael is that guy. Same thing with Magic and Bird. And Michael made all of us money. I mean, listen, I made so much money from Nike because of Michael Jordan. All these guys today, because, we're so old, people forget. Guys wasn't making commercials. Guys wasn't getting paid to wear shoes. That's all because of Michael Jordan. And even if you're mad at the dude, you got to say, thank you for making me all this damn money. Like every time I made so much money from Nike, and I'm still with Nike today, but it's all because of Michael Jordan. And even if you don't like the guy, you got to say, you know what? That dude made us a lot of money. But they've gotten so personal with each other. And Scottie he's taken the thing he burned down the whole house. And, it's just a crazy situation. And there's nothing worse than being in a room with somebody you don't like. And it's, like I say, man, it's going to be fascinating.
It's sad for us. And I don't think you bought this from me right away. I like a good conspiracy theory. But I believe that after Scottie got so bitter and said so many bad things about Michael.
Made it personal.
And then Phil and went with the book and was touring to promote the bourbon, that he said so many mean things, the Michael went nuclear. And I believe that Larsa and Michael teamed up, and that's how you got the Larsa Pippen Marcus Jordan relationship to really go and hurt Scottie. Are you buying that yet?
Are you crazy? Are you out of your damn
mind?
Yes,
he is. He's a reality TV show guy.
You think this is real love? That all of a sudden, out of all the people in the world, Larsa and Marcus just found each other?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I will admit, though, I think that takes this anger and bitterness to a whole nother level.
He went nuclear.
But I don't think there's. First of all, if you think there's a conspiracy, you're just nuts. You're just flat out nuts.
I got to read you this headline from People Magazine.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, let me. This is good. This is my buddy sent this to me today.
It's gonna make you blush, Charles.
It will. I don't know if Charles blushes. It says Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan say they have sex 5 times a night. Way more than she did with ex-Scottie Pippen.
Why are we going there?
Now, see, thank you. That's TMI. That's just too much. That's first of all, why would you do that? That's unnecessary and uncalled for.
It's People Magazine.
I know, but you don't tell. Even if that's true, you don't tell People Magazine. See now.
Is he starting to? Are you starting to believe what he's saying?
I don't mind people not liking each other because you just have different personalities, but you don't take. You can't. There's no need to take shots at people. There's no need to do that. That's just wrong on so many levels. That's just so wrong. I mean, that's just not cool at all. I don't like that at all. You don't tell People magazine that at all.
So you're starting to believe me, Waddle.
No,
aren't
I'm
you?
not.
Yeah,
No,
I think
I
a
think-
little
no,
bit.
no.
Hey, me and Waddle, we've never been that drunk to believe that damn
That's right.
conspiracy
That's right.
theory you came
And
up
I've been
with.
drunk, like really drunk. And I've been drunk a lot.
And I like to drink, and I've been really drunk, but that's a stretch of an imagination. Hey, that's like, you know what that's like? You see some of these people are saying the FBI set up January the 6th.
I've not seen that. I don't go for those conspiracy theories. No.
I was like, wait a minute. You said, I mean, instead of saying Trump and his clowns are fools, your theory is the FBI set it up where people lost their lives and things like that. I mean, come on, man. Some of these conspiracy theories are so out of whack.
Charles,
it's crazy.
He watches a lot of reality TV with his wife, and I think that's the genesis of why he's gone this route.
Well, you know, I used to get mad at my daughter when she was younger because she should watch all those stupid housewife shows.
Yeah, that's what my wife watches.
And I was like, Christiana, they're just bad actors. That's what they are. She's like, Dad, what do you mean? I says, you do know people don't hang out with people they don't like. I says, nobody wakes up. No, I says, you think people wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know what? Let me go find a couple of girlfriends I hate and hang out with them all day.
Yeah.
She says, oh, I never thought about that. I said, they're just bad actresses. I said, first of all, they're not even actresses but I said, they're just bad actors. Because any fool wakes up in the morning and says, hey, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go hang out with 3 or 4 girls I don't like, and we just going to fight.
Yes,
I said,
exactly.
In front of the
that's not even a
cameras.
realistic thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, can we let's talk about? We started to talk about coaches, whether it's Nick Saban or it's Bill Belichick
or Phil
or it's
Phil Jackson. Like, who's top of the GOAT, Mount Rushmore or mountain?
Well, Saban is the greatest college football coach ever, and that's not even debatable. You know, because you have to factor in something. Some of the people they trying to compare him to, they coached in the Stone Age. And because I tell people this about Coach Saban, I said, think about this. A lot of those old coaches, they won championship when they were segregated.
right.
Secondly, they won when they had no roster, no scholarship limitations. But to me, the big kicker is guys never left school back then. Saban was losing 3 to 5 guys a year who left school early. So they would have won more championship instead of the 7 he won. Mm-hmm. So the college thing is out the window. As far as Belichick, dude went to 9 Super Bowls, won 6, went to 9. That's incredible. And anybody who thinks that, like, that's not the greatest college, pro career ever, like, dude won 6 Super Bowls. He went to 9. That's incredible.
Charles, as a fan of his, do you want to see him go coach somewhere else? Or are you kind of like, look, he's had such a great career. The last thing I would want to see from a guy that I think so much of is to see him struggle again somewhere else?
Yeah, I would like to see him retire personally because, unless he can go, because now football is all about the quarterback. And I would hate to see him go to a team that's mediocre or bad just to break Don Shula's record.
Right.
Listen, no disrespect to Don Shula. Bill Belichick is the greatest pro football coach ever.
Agreed.
And you want to see it, even though it ended badly right now, if he went to another crappy team and won 5 games for the next 2 years or 3 years and then became the all-time winning coach, it won't have the same effect. I mean, you got a guy who just won 6 Super Bowls and went to 9. nobody going to debate his greatness. I had a fool the other day on TV. I don't even want to call him out.
Come on,
I don't want to
out.
give him. I don't want to give. He was talking about that. He was talking about that Bill Belichick only won because of Tom Brady. I said, well, first of all, that's stupid because he's not on special teams and he don't play defense. But what the guy said, he said, I think Andy Reid's a better coach. And I wish I had been live somewhere with him because his thing was Bill didn't win without Tom Brady. I said, yeah, exactly how many of those championships, and Andy Reid's a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I said, but how many of those championships did he win without Patrick Mahomes? That'd be zero.
Right.
That'd be zero. So this notion, you always win with great players. But this guy's like, and Tom Brady went down to Tampa Bay, and I guarantee you he'll tell you if you ask him, he used a lot of the stuff Coach Belichick taught him. But for this fool to get on TV talking about, I told y'all he couldn't coach without Tom Brady. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you saying Andy Reid? He won like 5 championships before he got Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, no, he actually didn't win anything without Patrick Mahomes. So don't try to belittle these guys. Yeah. What Coach Belichick did will never be accomplished again, period.
Also in football, I believe you still root for the Eagles. Are you
Yeah,
worried?
we did, brother. Go ahead and hey.
What's going on?
Are they cooked?
Look, like a good piece of chicken, brother. It is. We are DEEEAAD dead.
They're dead. You're not giving them a chance.
What happened, Charles? They've lost 5 of 6.
But not only have they lost 5 or 6, they're not playing with passion. Like they're not playing like. See, I think what happened, to be honest with you, and you know this, when they were 10-1, they weren't playing well. So I think a lot of times that's the one thing you have to do when you're winning. You have to really grade yourself. You have to really grade yourself when you're winning because they were winning, but they were not playing well. And then when they made a few more mistakes, they really started losing. They lost 5 out of 6, but they were playing. If you go back and look, when they were 10-1, they were not playing well, and they kept saying the most important thing is to win. Yeah, the most important thing is to win, but you really need to develop good habits on how you're winning. And I think that came back to bite them when they started losing.
Charles, how hard is it to play in Philly? Because there's talk that if they get bounced in the first round of the postseason, a year removed from going to the Super Bowl, that Nick Sirianni may be in trouble.
Yeah, Philadelphia's a tough city. I always tell people, I think Philly, New York, and Boston, those, in my opinion, those are the 3 toughest cities to play in because there's so much competition. Because in Philly, you have to deal with all major sports, and then you got about 6 or 7 big-time colleges there. So you're always fighting. Same thing in New York. Like, we got to say something or do something because we're competing with the Yankees, we're competing with the Mets, we're competing with the Jets and Giants. So it's always a fight to get attention. And the Celtics, they're the Celtics. If you don't win at the Celtics, you're going to get killed. But when you're in these major cities, a lot of the press is dictated by, you're fighting for space especially on the back cover of these magazines, on the back of these newspapers. So playing in big cities like that, man, it is a dog fight to get attention, and it's tough to play. Hey, when I got traded to Phoenix, man, I thought I went to middle school. It'll be like,
yeah, it was.
Like,
that's why it's what we try to tell people here in Chicago, Charles, because compared to other big cities, I think our fan bases are very willing to give people second chances and wrap their arms around people. I think this is an easier place to play in all sports than other places.
I 100% agree with you. And, Chicago is my second favorite city in the world, so I know a little bit about it. But, man, the East Coast, like I say, New York, Philly, and Boston, they are different animals. Chicago, I mean, they'll give you a chance in Chicago. I mean, because let me tell you something. I haven't read a newspaper and I haven't listened to your guys' show lately. There's no way they can be happy with that thing going over at the Bulls.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. If the Celtics were playing that bad, or the Sixers or the Knicks were playing that bad, the fans would burn down the stadium. There's no way what's happening with the Bulls when they were let go in Philly, Boston, and New York. There's no way possible.
Well, what's the answer, Chuck? I mean, like Zach just came back, and like Wilbon tells us that there's no team that wants to trade for him right now because there's no market. So what do you do with this team?
You got to break that. They should have broke the team up 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, because they're irrelevant. Hey, listen, sometimes you just got to start the rebuild. You got to say, hey, you know what? I got to take pennies on the dollar. I mean, because you're not, and that bothers me, man. Think about it. Chicago Bulls are irrelevant. The Chicago Bulls are irrelevant. I mean, it's crazy to think about that. The Bulls have been so amazing in the last, they're like, even when they were losing to the Pistons, they're the second best. They might be the second or third best. They're the second or third best team in the NBA. And then when they broke through, 6 championships is incredible. But now, and they were great with Derrick Rose. And now you're like, when you look at teams in the East, you're like, okay, the Celtics are the best team. Then you got Philly and the Bucks. Ain't no telling what. The New York Knicks, man, they made one of the greatest trades. Getting that boy from Toronto is like highway robbery. That was a great trade. I love that kid. And now the Knicks, they've won 5 or 6 in a row. I said, I'm not sure they can beat Boston, but they might be the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And, but the Chicago Bulls, I mean, Orlando, I'm trying to think. Orlando's playing very good. The Hawks are mediocre. I'm trying to think who's another good. I mean, the Wizards
Pacers
are the worst
are pretty
team.
good.
Oh, the Pacers are terrific. I mean, they're not a championship contender, but they got a style they play, and Rick's done a good job. Halliburton is fantastic. Miles Turner's been playing great. But man, you are like 6, 7 teams down, and you ain't even mentioned the Bulls.
I know.
Hey, Charles, about the Knicks, and this is just a guilty pleasure question for you about Jalen Brunson, because we had this conversation here in town because Jalen's a local guy, and I will tell anyone, I'm no basketball expert, but I had no idea this kid could develop into the kind of player he has developed into. Did you see this as a potential kind of career arc for him?
Nobody saw that. Anybody tell you they saw that, they're lying. And I know all the guys from the Knicks. They didn't think he was going to be this good. I knew he was a good player, but he's an all-star now.
Yeah.
Should have been an all-star last year. He's the best player on the Knicks. But, nobody saw that. Anybody see, guys love it. They always pump their chest out when they get one right. Nobody saw this coming.
This is a great story. Yeah, it really is.
Also in town tomorrow, for this Ring of Honor thing is Draymond Green and the Warriors. What do you think, Chuck, happens to Draymond where that happens and the weird stuff comes out?
Well, number one, he's got to worry about people, other players trying to egg him on. What Draymond's got to do is, number one, you got to stop doing stupid stuff first and foremost. But he has to realize that stuff he used to do when they were winning, that's what I don't think most players do understand it, but Draymond hasn't figured it out. You can do all the stupid stuff you want to when you're winning. But when you start losing, it becomes stupid stuff. That's what all players have to learn. And the Warriors stink. I watched them get beat by 100 last night by the Pelicans. And I said it at the beginning. I said the Warriors are cooked. They got lucky in the playoffs last year. If you go back and look, Sacramento was a better team, But Steph went crazy in Game 7, so people are like, oh, I was like, no. Sacramento should have won that series. And I said it in Game 1 this year. I said, man, the Warriors, they're irrelevant. They old and slow, and they're irrelevant. Everybody's like, Charles Barkley just called the Warriors cooked after the first game of the season. I said, dude, I know what I'm looking for. The Warriors are cooked. I said, Draymond's not the same player. Clay's not the same player. I said, Steph going to keep getting worn down because he has to cover up all their flaws now. He has to cover up all their flaws. And you see how he's going through peaks and valleys. Like last week, he had like 8 points for the first time. I said, because he's getting tired. He's older now. He can't get 35 a night and cover up all their flaws. So they got a mediocre team. But like I say, with Draymond, as much as I like Draymond, he's been a very good player for a long time. He got to understand, yo, man, all that stuff that was really cute and funny when it was like he was aggravating and he was getting on he was a leader on the team, getting the other players fired up. That's great when you're winning, but when you start losing, like, yo, man, why is Draymond out there acting like an idiot? I was like, yo, man, that's the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, it's very true. So your Aaron Rodgers slap comment got some play the other day. Are you happy that McAfee decided to end the Aaron Rodgers segment for the year?
Yes, because, Aaron crossed a line, a serious line. Part of our job of being in the limelight is people take shots at you all the time. That's part of it. You guys both been in the limelight a long time. People going to say stuff to you. I don't do social media, but I guarantee you, y'all probably hear some stuff.
It's awful.
People, and listen, that goes with the job. But when you accuse somebody of being a pedophile or having sex with underage girls, that don't cross the line. That's jumping on the line up and down. That is slander. I mean, I think that's probably the worst thing you could say about a human being. And I don't know Aaron. I've only met him a couple times. He's always been cordial. But like, yo, man, you just call this dude a pedophile and saying, he's with somebody who's having sex with underage girls. That's not cool. That's not funny. And he crossed the line. And I was happy the way Jimmy Kimmel came at him. And he said, yo, man, you put my family because, guys, you know what's going to happen next. Jimmy Kimmel's kids are going to be at school somewhere down the line, maybe not right now because I think they're young, but some fool kid going to say, oh, your dad's a pedophile. He hang out with child molesters because kids can be cruel. So that's just a no-go. Like I say, man, you can say stuff about people. I understand. That goes with the job. But when you cross that line that Aaron did the other night, man, he had to be checked quickly.
It's like I said, with regard to, maybe it's a crude comparison, but there's no guardrails, it seems like, anymore in our society at times. And yeah.
But like I say, yeah, you can say stuff about people. I understand that.
Yeah.
But like that was slander, man.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. You like that's not even stuff you joke about.
We were go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
We joke about in the locker room stupid stuff that we really have to be careful that we can't take out publicly. You got in the locker room how it is. Yeah. We say stuff that now will get you fired. We just say it every single day for years. It'll get you fired today. And now you have to adjust. But what he said about Jimmy, like, yo, man, you need to be checked on that one, man. And I think they did the right thing. Because, man, that is slander when you accuse somebody of being in that situation.
We were joking, speaking of locker room talk, during our crosstalk segment with Carmen and Yurko, but the show before ours, we when we were previewing that you were coming on, we told the guys that you said that if Roger said that about you, that you said that you would slap him. And then they wanted to know, like, if Rodgers came back at you, would you be able to take Rodgers?
Can I beat a quarterback?
At your age now, we know you got
it. They suggested.
Hold on for a second. Did you ask me if I could beat a quarterback?
He did. He's the same guys. He's the same guy, Charles, that loves the the fantasy shows, the reality TV shows too.
Hey, let me tell you something. The only quarterback I'm trying to think. I need to be careful before I say something right now. Okay, Josh Allen. He's a big old boy. He's a stud. Okay.
You're 60 though, aren't you? And don't you have a bad hip?
Yeah, but come on, man. I'm not going to lose a fight to a quarterback. Let's get that out the way. Okay. Okay. Josh Allen is the only quarterback. Now, I love Pat Mahomes, but Pat Mahomes can't beat me. Okay. No. I love Pat Mahomes.
Fields can take it. Justin Fields can take you.
Justin 6'3", 220.
Yeah. I can't. I can beat Justin Fields.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
Listen. I told y'all one thing I love about Justin Fields. He looks good in uniform, don't he? He looks good. He's like, oh, that dude. He's somebody right there. But a quarterback. Hey, listen. I hate to. I'm talking just to talk now. But a quarterback can't beat me. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop it.
What do we like? What is your move? Like, if we're in the octagon, like, you're looking to get one of these quarterbacks on the ground, right? Because
I'm bomb rushing.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get him to the ground.
Get him to the ground.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to stand up and let conditioning have to play into it.
Right.
Hey, at this age, I do not want conditioning to play in.
Right.
I'm just going to go for the quick takeout down and try to get as many blows in as possible before they break it up.
That's what I said. I said to the guys, I said, there's no chance this is going to be a boxing match. This is get to the ground and pound, and try to end it quick.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
And then, you see, that's why jocks like to fight. Because sometimes you might be the ground E when other guys go on top of you hitting. So you always fight in situations where they're going to break it up quickly. Make sure it's in the middle of the game or in practice or something, because the last thing you want to do is fight out in public when a guy can just keep kicking your ass over and over.
Do you watch the MMA stuff? And do you marvel at guys that are in there doing that stuff?
When you said marvel, you mean I'm like, damn, dude, you can't find a better way to make a living?
I just meant man, there's got to be a switch inside these guys that you flip and it's on.
It's two things. It's two things about it that I admire. First of all, I think you have to be crazy to hit somebody in the face over and over.
Yeah.
But also to get hit in the face over and over. I don't know whether you're the winner or the loser. They both are stupid. Wait a minute. I don't really want to keep punching this dude in the face. But I don't want to get punched in the face either. Yeah. I mean, it's a very interesting dynamic the way that sport works. I'm like, you either punching another person in the face or you getting punched in the face. I'm not sure I want to do either.
Yeah, I don't either. Listen, there are very few rules that I kind of follow religiously. One is don't fight because I don't want to get my ass kicked. But the other is, if I am going to get in a fight, do not try to get in a fight with a guy with one of those cauliflower ears, right? Even the small guys, there are signs that.
But even somebody I don't like, I really don't want to hit them in the face over and over.
Yeah.
I mean that, there's people you don't like or people you disagree with. But I really, deep in my heart, don't say to myself, I just want to punch this person over and over and hurt them. I just don't have that bone in my body. But the worst case scenario, can you imagine if you fight with somebody who's bigger and quicker than you and they can just beat the hell out of you? I definitely don't want my ass kicked.
No, I don't either.
All right, before we let you go, and we really appreciate this long form today, with Travis Kelce hooking up now, and it seems like they are really in love with Taylor Swift.
There you go again, Mr. Reality TV show guy.
When you were a player, was there ever a celebrity that you had a big crush on?
Well, a lot of them back in the day, but not that big, not that big. She's probably the biggest star in the world right now.
Yeah,
most famous person probably in the country or in the world right now.
Yeah, no question. You know what? Travis is a friend of mine. I wish him nothing but the best. But hey, man, listen. I just think it's funny how everybody's starting to turn on her now, blaming her for blaming her for the Chiefs not being as good. And you knew it was gonna come. Yeah, you could see this coming like 3 months ago. They're like, yo, man, if the Chiefs don't win, the internet gonna be coming for her. I mean, it's like, and that's the way this thing works.
Yes, I know.
Kadarius Toney drops a pass. That's on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I know. Hey, all them wide receivers dropping passes. It's because Taylor Swift is in the building. I'm like, oh man, how crazy are y'all? But I will tell you this: it's nothing like playoff football. I can't wait to watch. It's gonna be fun. Oh man, can I take a shot at the NFL right now?
Yeah,
please
go ahead.
Man, this thing showing this game not on cable, that's low class, man.
It's on Peacock, right?
Yes.
You got to pay.
Yeah, come on, man.
Pay for it.
That's not cool. That's not cool. They're just being greedy pigs. I'm glad some NFL players taking some shots at them. I know the NFL is the biggest thing in the world. To put this game on Peacock and make people have to buy Peacock, that's just low class, man. And I'm disgusted. I'm not even, first of all, I can't watch it. I'm going to be filming commercials. But even if I could, I wouldn't watch it. I'm just going to boycott the game because they sold the game for $110 million. And I know that's a lot of money, but the NFL's, they're making $20 billion a year. To screw your fans like that, it's just not cool, man, at all.
That's what I call sloppy greed. Like you're just getting sloppy. You're just, you don't need the money that bad. That's just.
But that just goes to they don't care about the fans.
Yeah.
The fans should be the most.
Charles, they obviously don't care about the fans. You see the officials they run out there every Sunday. I mean, really? Really?
But that's just low class, man. That's just greedy. That's just flat out greedy. And I'm disappointed in the NFL. And, man, that's just not cool at all.
Chucky, you are the coolest.
Best.
Yes. Thank you for everything. Happy New Year and happy gambling on the NFL.
We'll let you know what happens with this Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
This ceremony.
Hey, listen, please let me know what the Ring of Honor. And listen, I will tell you guys is I can't wait to see what y'all going to do with that number one pick. It's going to be fascinating, brother. Good luck with that.
All right,
Thank you, Charles.
We'll see ya.
Be well.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year to
Yeah,
you.
he is the best. I mean, there's no one more generous. There's no friendlier celebrity. There's no really just a friendly guy.
I could do 4
in general.
hours talking to him.
He's the best. He's like, you may not agree with everything he says, but he is really, and that's how he is if you would ever meet him.
Yes.
He treats everyone super respectful. Charles Barkley, uninterrupted for almost 45 minutes right there.